Good evening, big boy. What's up? Or big girl. We are very inclusive here. Of course, I use the term girl and call myself inclusive. Anything. I mean, anyway, there is no virtue in not doing something when you don't have the ability to do it. People like to call themselves loyal these days like it's a flex. No, it's a necessity. But even so, people call themselves loyal. But have you even had the chance to cheat? Like, who's asking you to cheat? Genuinely, who's asking? You're telling me if you're like tall, handsome dude with money, and have a girlfriend, she's like, kind of pissing you off these days, and there's some other beautiful chick, you're at some party and she kisses you, that like you won't cheat. I mean, sure, that's easy to say right now when you're not all of that and you don't have all of those emotions, and when you aren't really capable of doing anything close to that. So of course you cannot be moral when it's convenient. There was this scene, the Leper King says this. I forgot the name of the movie, but just look up Edward Norton Leper King movie. Okay, he basically says, when you die and you have to answer to God, you cannot say, I did these things because I was made to do these things by the people in power. Right? You cannot say I didn't learn how to fight because my parents didn't let me, go train. They were always like study. Because you have to realize ultimately that's gonna be what, 18 years of your life. Okay, maybe add 3 more. Right? If you want to do like your college into that, because they're gonna pay for it. Right? Add 5 more. Till you're 23. What about the rest of your life? You're just gonna be a lazy piece of shit. Of course, this is a very, very specific example, but that's what examples are. Idiot. Whatever. Thing is, you need to be able to do something, but not do it. You need to be able to kill someone. You need to be able to, just punch someone to death, kick them to death. Have the power to, have the BJJ skills to, You need to have the intellect to, you need to have the ability to read people without using it in an unjust way. Right? You cannot say that I was virtuous when it was convenient. Right? See, take this as an example. We were all children. Right? And we saw bullies. Now the bully is usually, stereotypically a bigger dude. Now, if you are bigger than someone, it's quite easy to get into this sort of thing where, oh, I'm bigger than you. Piss off. Yeah. Little boy, get out of my way. Give me your lunch money. It's easy to do that stuff. You know what's hard is to treat them with the same level of respect you would treat someone who is twice as old and twice as experienced and twice as good as you. That's what's hard to do. Because showing respect and having respect are different things. And, whether or not you have respect for someone, you should always show respect. You know what I mean? Like, I used to have this thing where if I don't respect you, I don't give a shit. You're a piece of shit who did bad things. I don't respect you, and I'm not going to treat you with any respect. And that landed me in very, very bad positions. Of course, it will land you in very, very bad positions, because even if you don't respect someone, everyone has some sort of power, right? And if that power is anywhere close to affecting you, it is going to affect you. Because when you disrespect someone, they're not just going to let it slide. Not everyone is virtuous like us. Not everyone is capable of forgiveness, buddy. So take care of yourself by not by having respect, but by showing respect, right? Because, it's just people are always pretending to be someone they're not, to some degree, right? You don't see me be this articulate if you meet me on the road. I'll use brain rot language, I'll be goofy, funny, whatever. You won't see me like this when we meet, and if we meet. So everyone is playing some sort of a character. Now, I don't really care much to, have it just mask my whole personality. No, I am just, I control what words I use over here. I swear less. And I don't say the N or R word. Maybe. Thing is, you have to have the power to let power go. Right? Kanye West said that. No, he didn't. He said something like that. Not verbatim, but he did say that. And you know what? That's the biggest strength. That's the biggest strength you can possess, is to have the ability of doing something and not do it. Yeah, even some, those philosophy, psychology, more like manipulator dudes. Yeah, one of them was like, yeah, know all the, what do you call it? Know all the psychology tips and tricks, but don't use them. And that's basically just self-defense, isn't it? Like, if you know all of that shit, when someone's trying one of those cheap tricks on you, you're gonna catch him, right? And you can swerve him around and like be like, oh, I told you. And it's like, you don't use that shit, because manipulating someone is basically like emotionally using a gun. I mean, a low-key is. If someone doesn't know how people manipulate others, and someone isn't really educated on how people use words and actions to, I don't know, just change your feelings to, to fit to their standards, to fit what they want out of you. And someone isn't not well educated on that, of course you'll trick them. Of course. What did you think was going to happen? They would magically just learn all this stuff and be like, oh, you're manipulating me, I caught you. Of course not. So we don't want to be that guy, right? We don't want to be the piece of shit who uses his power essentially to someone who has no idea of it. Of course. So yeah, it is better to be a soldier in a garden than to be a gardener in a war. Just because you're a soldier doesn't mean you have to be violent. Just because peace is scary when violence is all you've ever known. You don't have to be violent, right? Because violence is scary too. And if being calm, if being peaceful, if settling essentially is scary, I would rather be brave against something that is going to make my life better and make me a better person in general, than be brave against something that is just quite ugly and hedonistic nonsense. Smash like if you agree, smash the subscribe button if you disagree. This is the first time I'm doing a like, subscribe shit. I don't ever do that, because this channel isn't made for that. I don't even know why I said that. The hello neighbor gif, he just pulls up and he's like, there's this whole paper thing, this notepad, and he's like, clicking on the like, subscribe and stuff buttons. I know you have no idea what I'm talking about. Right, maybe you do. Whatever it is. Good night.